And Nate, let's just kind of show folks exactly what we're talking about with real-life case studies. Now, here is what we love about Mike Collins, is Mike Collins is actually out there doing deals, lots of deals, tons of deals. And, he could be bringing you people that haven't really done short sales, but they kind of figured out the methodology, and so they created an info product, and they, slapped some stuff together. But what's important to Mike is actually, legitimacy and actually finding people that are actually out there doing it. So, Nate, talk to us about the amount of deals you're doing. Of course, we know you're bringing in $100 grand, but just take us through some deals that you've done in just the last couple months.
Okay. Well, this one closed yesterday. This was actually 2 duplexes. I could only fit a picture of one of the duplexes on this case study. So it was 2 duplexes right next door to each other. So it's four units, bringing in I think $650 a month. And we negotiated from $225,000 down to $59 grand, and resold them both to the same investor for $45,000 apiece for a total of $90,000. This deal was brought to me by a realtor. I never talked to the seller. I never talked to the buyer. I never talked to the bank. I've never even been to this house. This is the first time I've ever even seen a picture of this house when I put the case study together this morning.
So again, that's the cruise control element, folks. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a
So,
little bit.
Mike, if a duplex, 2 duplexes for $90,000, that's
right.
650 times 4. That's $2,800 a month, or $2,600 a month.
Sure.
That's bringing in for a $90,000 investment. So it was not hard to sell at all to an investor. This one closed today. $175,000 first, $60,000 second, two different lenders, and we got the bank to take $83,292 and $49,51 to the second. The second mortgage took 8 or 9% of the balance. Resold it to a cash buyer for $117 grand. I made $16,000, and my realtor that brought me the deal made $11 grand. So when you show this to realtors, and when you show realtors how much they can make, how they can make, Jason, the guy that brought me this deal, made about a 10% commission. It's not really that difficult to get realtors to work with you when you show them how much money they can make. I pay out, I share a lot of the profit with the deal with the realtors to keep them motivated to continue to work with me.
So case study number 3, Nate.
This deal is actually closing tomorrow. Okay. I'm not here to show people a bunch of case studies from deals they closed 2 years ago using strategies that no longer work. I'm still doing the business, folks. This is actually a nice house. The first time I've ever seen a picture of this house was when I got on MLS and pulled the picture off MLS for this case study as I put this PowerPoint together this morning. $225,000 loan balance. We got them down to $126.05. Resold for $159. Buyer was cash. This house I think comped out between $200 and $250. But when you use the strategies that we use, we always get the biggest possible discount. So we take the approach of let's just discount the crap out of the mortgage so we can just give the house away. Realtor made 10 grand. I made just over 15.
So people are starting to add up and thinking, what, maybe Nathan actually does make $100 grand a month.
Right, exactly. I'm actually closing.
That's a great deal, man. You should have kept that and moved into it. That's a great neighborhood too.
I am closing on another one the day after this one on Sandstone, but I don't have the numbers on it, so I couldn't bring it to this PowerPoint. But I think the profit on it gross was like 15 grand. This one closed back in December. Again, same story. $245,000 loan balance. I mean, look at every single one of these cases. They're all 6-figure loss. $85,000 net to the bank. Resold for $119,900. Realtor made an $11,000 commission. I made 16 grand. This was not closed by me. One of my students, Lee Carney. Mike, you know Lee, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He did this. This was one of his first bigger short sale deals. It was a quadplex, $400,000. Got it down to $138 and resold it for $185. Made $26,000 in profit. And it's closed in December. 3 months ago. This was closed by one of my students, Brett Muscatel. He told me this was a guy that was doing short sales before, but as soon as he became one of our students, he implemented a lot of the strategies that we teach that he wasn't already doing, and he said he squeezed an extra $20,000 in profit just because of that. This was the biggest profit, his biggest deal he'd ever closed. So a lot of people think that this only works in lower end areas. It doesn't. This works in every price range.